a quick tour of Indonesian coal regions. The longer we look, the more we look, the more we find. That's the simple story. So 85 years in the ground, that's today. If you asked me in 2005, it was 61 billion tonnes. 2012, it's 161. All that reflects is we've been exploring. And we're also being surprised a lot. So there's over 14,000 islands. No one quite can agree on how many. 2 continents and 60 sedimentary basins. So far, only 6 islands with coal identified. Doesn't mean there isn't more. So in 2007, this is what we thought. 52 billion in Sumatra, 40 billion in Kalimantan, little bits elsewhere. If we go forward to 2009, that's 105 billion. And the change is Kalimantan. Now, since then, there's been an awful lot of exploration elsewhere in Indonesia, so the number keeps growing. So even though we're mining now at 300 million tonne per annum plus, now closer to 400 million, the number of resources keeps going up, and that's a reflection of exploration. 2012, 161 billion tonne. So quickly going through Kalimantan, where is it? 2007. Mostly 26 billion tonnes in East Kalimantan and south, next to nothing in central. Again, all the growth in East Kalimantan. But since that time, there's been an awful lot of activity in central. So, like any resource and reserve statement, it's true at a point in time. So the number keeps going up. The more we look, the more we find. If we look historically, the projects and the producing mines were all in restricted areas, close to the coast or close to the Mahakam, with the exception of our friends at Adaro, who bravely started 70 kilometres from a river that couldn't take barges, and doing transshipping was all impossible, and selling coal that couldn't be sold. So they've always stood out. The new projects, we have low rank coals here in the Muara Wahau area, and central Kalimantan is the big growth area. And there's a map I carry with me now with the sheer number of roads being built and the sheer number of mines being opened in central Kalimantan is amazing, and the surprising number that are metallurgical coal projects. Sumatra's the sleeping giant. So in 2007, this was our number, and most of it sitting there in 23.7 billion tonne in South Sumatra, with Jambi a close second and Riau after that. But after that, again, all the growth here out to 2009. And the projects of scale, there's really only the one in Sumatra. Lots planned, lots talked about, lots of small mines, but of scale, there's really only one. So, although most of the coal's in Sumatra, most of the projects are in Kalimantan. And the reason? Infrastructure. Kalimantan has the rivers. Sumatran rivers simply can't carry the traffic, don't have the draft. Lots of people. Roads. We've recently had provinces that have stopped hauling on roads and competing land use. But traditionally, and this is the interesting bit, large low-rank deposits, and certainly that's most of it. But we are seeing more and more higher-rank deposits, and there's actually even been a coking coal deposit, which shouldn't be surprising given that Omberland produced for about 100 years of a high-rank coal with a coking coal primary product from the wash plant. Papua, again, sits out there. It sits out there and it's barely changed. Exploration for coal in Papua dates back a century. The Steen Coal Formation identified for 19th century, and it's so poorly understood that when we look at coal here On the Bird's Head, it's called Steen Coal. When we look here, it's still called Steen Coal Formation. Now, it's probably unlikely that they're all the same. It's just we don't know any different. So, underexplored. There are some high energy coals there. There are some low energy coals, north-south. One of the good things about Papua, not a lot of people. And one of the bad things about Papua, not a lot of people. So, but there's deep water and shallow. So we're talking about 100 metres of water, 20 metres from the coastline. So for those brave enough to go to Papua, there is opportunity. So Indonesia's underexplored. Lots of opportunities out there to find new things. The new areas in the well-known islands, infrastructure and competing land use gets us. So thinking outside the constraints has in the past led to large rewards, and Adaro is the example I keep on coming back to. At the time when they started that mine, everyone said they were crazy, to a man, except for the people who believed in it, and today everyone would love one.